So simplifying radicals is all about looking for pairs. Since we're taking a square root, this exponent here would, or not an exponent, but the root number would be 2, but we don't bother writing it. So whatever this number is, that's what you're looking for. So since it's a square root, we're looking for pairs. So what I will do is factor this number down as far as you can factor it, and then look for pairs. So it might make things easier, especially at first, if you just start by dividing by 2, and then once you can't divide by 2 anymore, divide by 3, and once you run out of 3, you won't be able to do 4 because you already did the 2's. Then do 5's, and then just start doing the odd numbers. So 200 divided by 2 would leave us with 100. So we're making this factor tree, and if you just do 2 as many times as you can, it will line up all the 2's that we get. So 100 can be divided by 2 and we get 50. 50 can be divided by 2, we get 25. So now we can't do 2 anymore. So then try the odd numbers. You can't divide it by 3, so then we do 5. 25 divided by 5 leaves us with 5. So there we factored it as far as it will go. And then what we're doing is looking for pairs of factors. So we have a pair of 2's and we have a pair of 5's. So whenever you square root a pair of numbers, it gives you that number. So what's going on here is this is the square root of 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. And then we got this r cubed. We'll worry about that in a little bit. But the numbers, they can be split up. Now you're not going to have to do this every time. But what is going on here, I'm splitting them up as pairs. So I put the pair of 2's in one square root, the lone 2 in another square root, and then a pair of 5's. It's not 55, that's 5 times 5 in the other square root. And what happens is the 2's here would be 4, right? 2 times 2 is 4. The square root of 4 is going to be 2. And the 5's, 5 times 5 is 25. The square root of 25 is 5. And then the square root of 2 is still in the square root. So now we have 2 times 5 in front of the square root, regular numbers, and then that 2 is inside. So 2 times 5 is obviously 10, square root 2. So that would be the square root of 100, but we have this r cubed here as well, and that's really pretty easy. You just have 3 r's. I mean, r cubed is r times r times r. So every pair of r's does the same thing that those numbers did. They'll just give you an r outside. So this is just r times r in one square root, and then a lone r in another square root. So the pair of r's gives you an r in front. So I'm going to put an r in there with the 10, and then this r here is inside with the 2. Okay, so that's the process there. Let's go ahead and do the next one. So 125 cannot be divided by 2. Can we divide it by 3? No. But 5, we can. If I divide it by 5, I'm going to end up with 25. Divide by 5 again, I get another 5. So now what I do is look for pairs. Right, so I have a pair of 5's. And any pair like this, now I'm not going to necessarily write this whole thing out every time. If it helps you, then do it. But you can just do, every pair gives you a number in front. So this pair of 5's gives me a 5 in front of the square root, and then the number, the lone 5, stays inside. Okay, same thing with the v's. We have 3 v's. So we have one pair of v's and then one lone v. So the pair goes out, the lone v goes in, and there we're done. Okay, so you factor it as far as it can go, and then you're looking for pairs. So the 8 can be 2 and 4, the 4, 2 and 2. We have a pair of 2's, so the 2 goes outside, and the lone 2 goes inside. The v's, we have 3 v's, so we have a pair of v's, so one outside, and then a lone v inside. And there you go. Let's do this 252 here. So if we divide 252 by 2, we'll end up with 126. And then if we keep going with the 126, divide it by 2 again. And we will get the, let's see, 63. Now we can't divide by 2 anymore, but we can divide by 3, so let's do 3. And then just keep doing 3 as many times as you can. So we get 21, and then divide by 3 again, we get 7. All right, so now we're looking for pairs. We have a pair of 2's here, and a pair of 3's. I'm going to look at those x's before I start writing things down. We have 4 x's, so that's going to make 2 pairs. So everything that has a pair goes outside with just a single. So we have a single 2 and a single 3, and then a single, well, 2 single x's. And then on the inside, we have anything that's left over. The only thing that's left over is that 7. So that's the only thing that goes in. And then everything outside gets multiplied with outside. Inside would get multiplied with inside, but there's only 7 inside, so nothing to multiply. So we have 2 times 3 is 6. X times x will be x squared, square root 7.